The first part of the movie is about a girl named Claire. After the death of her father, the owner of a hotel business, Claire stays with her stepmother, who inherited all of her father's business. The girl goes for a run in the early morning, where she falls into the hands of a kidnapper. The criminal pushes the girl into the trunk and takes off. Driving along a forest road, the kidnapper tries to avoid a boar that suddenly jumped out on the road and crashes into a tree, thanks to which Claire manages to get out of the trunk. The girl runs through the woods, but at some point she doesn't realize where to run to. Claire stops, and her kidnapper catches up with her. He holds a gun and asks Claire to close her eyes. The kidnapper says that everything will happen very quickly, after which a gunshot sounds. Claire regains consciousness in an unfamiliar house. A man enters the room with breakfast. According to Pierre, he was going to hunt wild boars in the woods, but instead shot a woman. He thinks that Claire probably did something wrong, since no one would have just been going to end it. The girl offers to call the police, but Pierre is against it. He has no desire to go to jail. Leaving the room, Pierre returns again with clothes for Claire. While the girl was out, Pierre undressed her and washed her clothes. Once dressed, Claire looks around the house and meets another man, a cellist named Vincent. Listening to the music the cellist plays, the girl falls asleep, but is lifted up by Francois, Pierre's twin brother. They differ only in the fact that Francois has a severe stutter unlike his brother. Pierre asks the girl to leave the house, as those who were going to kill her most likely will be looking for Claire and sooner or later will get to this house. And to meet with them the guy has no desire. The girl tries to persuade Pierre to let her stay here. Otherwise, why did he save her if now he throws her out? Pierre himself realizes that this is illogical, but then yells at Claire, for which he gets from the girl. Pierre grabs her, but then lets her go. Back, the guy kisses the girl, to which Claire does not resist at all. In the morning, Claire leaves the house and meets Vincent and his dog. The twins are at the sawmill, and the girl does not want to be alone in the house, so she goes to the vet with the cellist. On the way back, Vincent suggests the girl to stop for lunch. There Claire tells him that as a child she was fond of the violin, but after the accident in which her mother died, the girl abandoned everything. When Vincent returns home, he gives the girl a violin. He sincerely believes that it is impossible to stop with music. At that moment Pierre appears. He is not happy that Claire traveled with Vincent. Now the whole small town knows they have a girl living in their house. And that means the chances of her being found go up. In the morning, looking out the window of her room, Claire notices Pierre chopping wood. As he approaches her, Pierre starts kissing the girl, after which they do all sorts of things. Late at night, lying in her bed, Claire hears the sound of the television. The girl gets down and sits on the couch next to Pierre, starting to stroke his leg with her foot. After sex, the guy, stammering, utters that he is very thirsty. Claire realizes that it wasn't Pierre at all, but his twin brother Francois. He realizes that he shouldn't have done it, but he just couldn't resist, which makes the girl smile. The next day, not wanting to sit on the twins' necks and their devices, Claire gets a job at a local diner. The girl returns home and tries to call her stepmother, but as soon as she says her name, the other end hangs up. In the second part of the movie, we are transported exactly 1 week back to a week before these events. Claire's stepmother, named Moth, watches from the window as her lover, named Bernard, helps pick up a towel that Claire has dropped. When the man comes up to the room, Moth suggests that they no longer need to hide their connection from others, since her husband is no longer alive. But they need to take a pause in their relationship, as their feelings have faded a bit. Bernard agrees, and when Moth goes out, he calls Claire and confesses his love to the girl. This is heard by Moth, lurking in the next room. With this put up with, a woman arranges to eliminate Claire. After a while, the couple dines at a restaurant. Bernard wonders where Claire has disappeared. He has not seen her for several days. Moth calms him down, explaining that this is not the first time. The girl has disappeared for days before. At that moment, a call comes in on the woman's phone. It's Claire. Moth immediately disconnects the phone. At the diner where Claire has taken a job, all the customers pay attention to the girl. The local librarian named Charles, whom Claire met when she went to the vet with Vincent, brings his son Clayman to meet the girl. Sam, the veterinarian himself, keeps up with the others, giving Claire signs of attention. He invites the girl to go to a club in the evening, where Claire is molested by a certain type. Sam can't stand up for the girl, but Clayman does, knocking out the assailant with one blow. On the way home, Claire says that she thought Sam was strong, but he turned out to be vulnerable, but she even likes it. Pulling over to the side of the road, the vet stops the car and asks the girl to repeat those words one more time. Claire says that she likes Sam and touches his arm, then sits on top of him. The couple is watched by a crowd of squirrels. In the morning, Moth arrives in town. Spotting Claire, she goes into the library, where she meets Charles. He admires the woman's beauty and says that this is the second angel in their town this week, Moth and another young girl who has recently settled here. Charles advises Moth to look in the temple, where there are guest rooms where they can stay for a while. After meeting the pastor, Moth tells him about her stepdaughter who disappeared a few days ago. Perhaps she might have settled in their town. Recognizing the name, the pastor informs him that he knows the girl. Moth asks her not to say anything to anyone, otherwise Claire will run away again. According to the woman, the girl resents her because Moth did not pay enough attention to her after the death of Claire's father. The pastor offers to become a mediator and arrange a truce between the girl and her stepmother. In the morning, Claire is joined by Clayman on a jog. The guy is handsome to the girl, and in general it seems that there are no men in this town that she does not like. Clayman is very shy, but still the guy tries to hug the girl, but falls to the ground. After getting up, Clayman rushes off again. Claire goes to the temple where she tells the pastor about her affair with several men. According to the pastor, it is all the local mountains stirring the blood. The pastor informs her that there is a man in the temple who longs to be reconciled with Claire, and takes the girl to Moth. Seeing her stepmother, Claire throws herself into her arms. According to Moth, she managed to find the girl thanks to the fact that Claire called her, but the connection was suddenly cut off. According to the phone number, it was possible to find out where the call was made from. After telling the details of that day, Claire expresses her desire to stay in this city, where she has made many new friends. Moth doesn't mind, she will also stay here for a few days and will try to persuade Claire to go back home. The girl needs to go to work, and Moth offers her a ride to the town. On the way, Moth stops unexpectedly at the edge of a cliff, under the guise of having a flat tire. Stepmother asks Claire to see what's wrong with the tire. The stepmother sneaks up on the girl and is about to throw her off the cliff. But at that moment, a pastor on a motorcycle rides up to them. After learning that all is well, the pastor moves on. As the plan is thwarted because of an unnecessary witness, Moth takes Claire to the city and offers to meet her next weekend. Unsuspecting, Claire agrees. In a diner, the girl is approached by Charles. According to him, his son Clyman closed himself off from him, snapping at him in every possible way and does not want to talk to him. Therefore, Charles asks Claire to come in and talk to the guy so that he stops behaving like this towards his father. Clyman will defy nightly listen to Claire, because he really likes the girl. After work, Claire visits Clayman and tells the guy that she loves him, after which she kisses him. Going down to the library, the girl tells Charles that everything is all right. It is Sunday, Claire and her stepmother go on a picnic. Moth gives the girl an apple filled with poison. Only Claire is about to take a bite, Clayman appears in the clearing. The girl invites the guy to join them and holds out the apple to him. Moth grabs the fruit and says that she does not know this guy at all. Clyman apologizes and leaves, and Claire, after putting the apple down, goes after the guy, with whom she later has sex in the woods in the rain. As night falls, Moth arrives in the town where a dance is in full swing. Watching Claire dancing with one and another, the stepmother orders 2 glasses of wine, to one of which she adds the potion again. But even here she has a mishap. Clayman gets in her way and accidentally knocks one of the glasses out of Moth's hands. Clyman tells the girl that she did it on purpose. Claire's stepmother has a kind of cold look in her eyes. Since the plan didn't work, Moth brings her stepdaughter a drink and then starts jerking her around to make Claire sick, after which she puts the girl in the car under the guise that she's going to drive her home. Driving down a winding mountain road, Moth confesses that she has only been in love once in her life, but that love was also stolen from her by Claire. Afterward, she opens the door and pushes the girl out of the car. Pulling over, Moth walks to the edge of the cliff. After making sure the stepdaughter doesn't move, Moth drives off. The stepmother stops by the temple to place a candle, but accidentally sets herself on fire. Claire manages to survive. She lies in a hospital bed. Next to her are 7 men who love her. Each in turn approaches the girl and kisses her, after which Claire comes to her senses. This is the end of the movie.